NIT Agartala to share a few words.
Very good morning, Professor Mishra, Debi Prasad Mishra, Professor Abhay Kumar, Professor Rajiv Shah, my colleagues, deans and heads, and my dear students. It's a really privilege for us that Professor Debi Prasad Mishra has given his consent to be present, to remain present here and deliver a talk on such a theme, which is I completely go to the opposite pole of what Professor Abhay Kumar said, that beating the bush is not like that. In fact, it's something different. For example, uh, when we as a faculty of management studies, when we teach the students management, we still refer to what is there in Bhagavad Gita. We tell them what is leadership by example, what Lord Krishna has done. We tell them about clarity of vision, that Lord Krishna has advised Arjuna. So it's not like that we are going backward, and when we try to explore our ancient, our Indian knowledge, it's not like we are going backward. Rather, we are enriching ourselves. When we talk about Vedic mathematics, which was discovered between 1911 and 1918, it was actually based on, rediscovered from Vedas. It is based on some sutras, formulas, 16, 17 formulas are there. Actually, these sutras, mathematicians, they will tell better in better way. It tells us about the mental process, and this mental process actually constructs what is called mathematics. So it's not like the beating the bush, right? Now I'll tell you a very small story. It is recorded in Ramakrishna Kathamrita, Volume 3, Section 1, right? It was the incident when Ramakrishna Paramahansa for the first time he met Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. Actually, the age difference between them was around 16, 17 years. The date is 1882, 5th August, in evening time. The storyteller, the writer of the book, that is Mahendra Gupta, he was a disciple of Ramakrishna Paramahansa, as well as he was a teacher in a school where Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, after his retirement, was Pandit, the principal. So he was the point of connection between them. So Ramakrishna desired his expressed his desire that I want to meet Ishwar Chandra, because I have, from my childhood, I have heard about him. He's a very kind-hearted man. He never, goes back when the question of helping someone else help comes. So I want to meet that person. So what Ramakrishna had the perception about the Vidyasagar was, is a very scholarly person. He is given the title Vidyasagar, so it means that yes, he is a scholarly person, Pandit. Pandit is Sanskrit, so he is well known all over the world. He is well known for his wisdom and knowledge. On the other hand, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar has the perception is that this person is illiterate, and he's a priest in a Kali temple, the Dakshineshwar, and he has, by virtue of his presence as a godman, he has some disciples, something like that. So when the question of interaction comes, then he was Vidyasagar was very, curious. He said that, yes, I would like to meet him. So on 5th August, Ramakrishna had the opportunity with his disciple. He visited Vidyasagar in his residence in Kolkata, right? Now the discussion started from a different point of view. Like Ramakrishna said that after crossing a lot of oceans, then I have come a lot of rivers and drains and ponds, and then I have come to ocean. Ishwar Chandra said that when you have come to ocean, take some salted water. So Ramakrishna said, no, it's not like that. You are not salted water. You are something different. So how can you tell that? Then gradually the discussion came on Brahma, ultimate reality, right? What is God? Existence of God? What is that? Now again, Vidyasagar had the perception. He was a Pandit. He was a very scholarly person. He has gone through all the philosophical ideas he had, and Vidyasagar had opined once that his opinion, his perception about the philosophers are that these are the people who cannot explain the thing that is in their mind properly. So according to a very narrow type of feelings that Vidyasagar had possessed about the philosopher, that these people are somebody who are unable to explain their express their what is playing in their mind. They are unable to do that. So the discussion gradually came to, and Vidyasagar also believed that what is God? God is something that cannot be known. We cannot touch him. We cannot know him. It is only through our duties that we can, if we perform well, then eventually we will be going to heaven and somebody else will follow us. What Ramakrishna said that, what you know, probably it is partially correct or incorrect. He said like that. He is an illiterate man, this person is not like that. He said that Brahma is something which is beyond, which cannot be defined. He said that we have defined Vedas, we have defined Puranas, we have defined different philosophical thoughts, but still till today, I am talking about 1882 and still in 2024 also, this myth is still unexplored. What is Brahma? Now he has given some example that you see, light is there, lamp is there. You are reading Bhagavad Gita under this light, but somebody, some crooked person, he is now forging a document on the same light. The light doesn't have any impact on itself, right? So Brahma is like that. It is untouched. In this way, he has given some examples. Now remember that Ramakrishna Paramahansa had never gone to school. What he has learned about Vedas and this by listening to the Pandits and all. What I want to express here is that Vidyasagar has exclaimed, this is a what, quote unquote. Oh, what a remarkable man I have come across. I have never heard such a simplified analysis of Brahma or ultimate reality from anyone else. So it indicates that it is our Indian knowledge system that has made that man who is a illiterate person, Ramakrishna Paramahansa, to express in such a way that Vidyasagar, who was a Pandit, to acknowledge that yes, something I have come to know today. Now if we come across one more thing, that why now what Professor Abhay said, that many scholars today say that why should we read this our Indian knowledge system. Now you might be knowing that the Western philosophers are greatly influenced by Indian philosophers. For example, if you look at the philosophy of Aristotle, Aristotle's work is highly influenced by Indian philosophy. Platonism, if you look at Platonism, this again is influenced by Indian what is called metaphysics. What is God? What is realism? So it is highly influenced by this. So Indian civilization, Indian knowledge has percolated across the world. Forget about like we have developed zero and we could not boast of that, because now without zero we can't think of mathematics. Similarly, if we go to that management I told you about Bhagavad Gita, in Arthashastra, Kautilya's Arthashastra still is relevant today. There are certain points that he has mentioned at that point of time we cannot imagine that at that point of time the person could think in that way. And if you look at the Indus Valley civilization, the architecture, the planning, the drainage system, the buildings that were constructed, all of us who have studied history. So it's marvelous. So that's why eventually we could come across, we could develop Nalanda, we could develop some other universities. So it's really our pride that we have been able to achieve that feat. And one more last point is that to make you aware, many of you, because new generation they say that why should we know about this, because we are not going ahead. India was one of the richest country before the colonial regime started in India. Before the British invented India, India was one of the richest countries. How do we know? Because the scholars of history, they have proved many times that at the end of British colonial regime, India's GDP was only 25% what it was pre-colonial period. Means 75% decay was there. And that decay continues, and then we are around, right now we are in the 5th position, but it is a fact that at that time we are the richest person. That's why people used to come and they invade India, they took precious things with them. So this is something that we must boast ourselves of, right? And we are really privileged that Professor Debi Prasad Mishra, who has expertise in that, I also come across about him through social media only. I had never got an opportunity to interact with him. So it's a pleasure to listen to him, and I hope all of us will be benefited, especially the scholars. Now in our time, it was, you are fortunate that you are able to now, you are now living in a dispensation where this type of knowledge system we are talking about. In our system, when we studied in 80s, 90s, we did not think about all these things. Now the interest that we are getting, you are fortunate that you are able to listen to Professor Debi Prasad Mishra like scholar, right? So I hope you will today you will make yourself much more educated, much more value addition will be there. With this hope, thank you very much. Enjoy this video.
Thank you so much, sir. Before I call upon our expert speakers of today's lecture, let me take a moment to share a few insights about